I have like a very important question to answer today. Is Sonic the Hedgehog too woke now? Now, I want to preface this very clearly, but I hate those right-wing grifter kind of channels, like Yellow Flash and the Quartering. I do not take those children seriously. But you know, with any agenda, you can always go too far. Like, I hate Demon Slayer. Can't stand the show. Always appreciate videos like tearing up Demon Slayer, but if you're getting facts wrong about the show or giving invalid criticism, then I'm not going to be into your video. And I think humanity has a lot of faults in general, so we have to be progressive. So when I say that Sonic is woke, I don't really mean that it's too progressive, that I don't like that it's progressive. I think it's great that Sonic is progressive as a series. When I say Sonic is woke, I'm saying like, I think you're taking it a little bit too far. Like, that's no longer in the realm of reasonability. It's no longer reasonable. And I also want to preface that I actually don't really care too much about this topic. Like, I'm not heated or anything. I don't agree with it, but I respectfully disagree. Like, I really don't care. And with the way I make these videos, I'm basically doing a Sonic Superstar gameplay video series. So I need to at least complete one stage before the video ends. And I'm up to Cyber Station, and that took me 12 minutes to complete. I don't know how I can stretch this video out to 12 minutes. Like, I really do not have that many thoughts on this subject, but let's try anyways. I guess let's start with the general landscape of Western media at the moment, or at least what's happening to one of my favorite TV series, Doctor Who. And yeah, Doctor Who's just woke now, innit? Again, I don't have a problem with being progressive. I love Captain Jack Harkness, for example. Great character. He's gay if you guys ever watched Doctor Who. And again, if you guys are out of the loop, from 2005 to 2010, Russell T Davies was the showrunner of Doctor Who. And it was a great run. You know, the series was progressive, and I don't mind that. It was good, in fact. I liked how they handled it. Then in 2023, Russell T Davies came back. And, you know, he had the occasional hitter. There's this one episode, Dot and Bubble, which is a fantastic episode about racism. But he also returned with a bunch of hot takes, like, I don't know, did the woke mind virus get to him, as the Yellow Flash or the Quartering would say? For example, there's a character named Davros, and he's all deformed and he's on a wheelchair. The reason for this is that because he's a mad scientist, he's basically pushed his body to the extreme to create the iconic Doctor Who enemies, the Daleks. And maybe he was injured during a war as well, I'm not too sure. Probably a mix of both. And I'm pretty sure he's also been artificially trying to stay alive for a very long time. He's a very physically damaged character, that's why he's so deformed, as Russell T Davies put it. But apparently that was a no-no, and kids might start associating deformed people or people on wheelchairs as monsters. Which is a ridiculous take because, I didn't do that. Like, I'm pretty sure you'd have to be a literal smooth brain to be able to think that way. And there's other factors too. Humans are already inherently scared by deformities. Some deformities could be like the uncanny valley, while others could signal danger in a way. Like, strange growth could be a sign of disease. Or maybe someone's deformity is through scarring, which could be a sign of danger. Back when we were cavemen, we didn't have hospitals that could save us from super violent tragedies or attacks. So seeing a really scarred person could be a sign that there's danger nearby, or maybe that person is violent themselves and then got into a fight. It's simply just an innate human instinct. Davros as a character might be taking advantage of that instinct to scare people, but personally I wasn't scared, and the people who would be scared were probably scared of deformed people already, if you know what I mean. I don't think Davros' existence has negatively impacted the lives of people with deformities. And I don't know why Russell T Davies had to drag wheelchair people into this, because, like, I don't think a kid is gonna see Davros and then be like, oh, that guy's in a wheelchair, he must be evil. But I don't know, maybe I have too much faith in humanity. People can be stupid. But that doesn't really change the fact that Russell T Davies had a really uptight attitude about this. I think I saw someone on Instagram replying to Russell T Davies about this, saying that he was a wheelchair user and it didn't matter to him. And Russell T Davies responds with just one word: tough. I know I said I respectfully disagree before, but in this instance, I disrespectfully disagree. Russell T Davies is an asshole. Like, genuinely no way. Why did he respond like that? Genuinely lost any form of respect I have for that guy. And his two latest Doctor Who seasons were not even as good as his first four. Like, ignoring all the woke stuff, it's just weaker in terms of writing quality. Like, his trans representation is bad. I'm not mad that there's trans representation in Doctor Who, I just think it's poorly done. There's also this really weird dig at men in one of his episodes, and it's just like, he's a gay guy. Why is he, what? Also, he said the sonic screwdriver looked like a gun? I don't know what this guy is smoking. What does this have to do with Sonic the Hedgehog? Nothing. I just want to preface that my criticisms about, you know, in quotation marks, woke, isn't me just being super conservative or a right-wing grifter. I think this instance of Doctor Who is 100% a good example of, like, genuine wokeness. Like, progressiveness going too far. That it's just getting to a point where it's ridiculous. I just want to make sure you guys know I have pretty grounded opinions. And I've just seen so much discussion about topics like these, and both sides I feel like are just ravenous dogs tearing each other apart. So I want to approach this topic with as much like nuance as possible. And I promise you guys, whatever is happening with the Sonic the Hedgehog writers is nowhere near as bad as what's happening in Doctor Who. Maybe I feel a little bit more sensitive to this because of Doctor Who, but at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. Like, I'm not up in arms about it. I'm not yelling out like, fire Ian Flynn, get Evan Stanley off the team. But the exact event that made me want to make this video is the new IDW Sonic character, Lunar. Now, Lunar is a non-binary Sonic character, which is fine. My issue with Lunar is that see, that's the problem. Lunar doesn't use pronouns, period. I don't have a problem with like non-binary people. I think it's cool that people are breaking gender norms. And I'm so happy to refer to you using they, them pronouns. What I'm not happy to do is use your name every single time I have to refer to you. We've been taught that the English language flows very well using pronouns. So this concept of not using pronouns, it doesn't feel like breaking gender norms. It feels like just rebelling against language itself. It's really strange to me because I can't really link not using pronouns as gender affirming. Because the whole point of they, them pronouns is that they're meant to be neutral. They're not supposed to affirm gender or defirm it, I guess. Is that a word? I don't know. So I guess that's my problem with Lunar. That's where I kind of go, well, this is going a little bit too far progressively. And I don't like that my favorite franchise is trying to normalize something that I deem too far. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think it's a big deal. I'm still happy to buy and support the IDW comics. I don't want the writers fired. These writers are just doing what they believe is the right thing. They are supporting a specific group of people. They want them represented. I don't think that's wrong. But this group of people is like a minority of a minority of a minority. And they're trying to normalize something that's just so, I don't know, like esoteric or abstract. And then it's kind of categorized under like a trans issue, but all of this is actually kind of caused by autism, and it's just like, I don't know, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. I think we should kind of avoid a lot of controversial topics, like it's a family-friendly action franchise. And it's not like Sonic doesn't get political, but stuff like, you know, keeping plants safe and don't kill children are not that controversial. Like I said earlier, both sides of the argument are like ravenous beasts, and I think the entire topic is just kind of toxic in general. Humans, I've come to notice, are really bad at keeping consistent opinions and then expressing those opinions. As a Sonic fan, I know I've seen a lot of Sonic Unleashed reviews. And I guess my point is, whether it be something as not that important like a video game review, or something that's literally about to change laws and people's lives, humans are just bad at making arguments and having a civil discussion. I guess a fantastic example of why I would want the franchise to kind of stay away from this kind of topic is the situation with Karen Strassman, the current voice of Rouge the Bat. For a few years now, people have been begging for Sega to fire her because she's apparently transphobic. But guess what? There's no evidence of that. And even after she tweeted out last year that she isn't transphobic, people have been still mentioning it. But even if she is transphobic, I think it's a bit, like, insane to get someone fired over that. Because the world is still kind of in the process of accepting trans people, and gender dysphoria in general is very hard to sympathize with if you don't have it. Like, even me, I've tried. Like, I wonder if I would have gender dysphoria if I woke up as a girl one day, and I can't really imagine myself feeling so much distress and getting depressed over that. Not saying I definitely wouldn't, you know, it hasn't happened, so I don't know for sure, but I'm just trying to say it's difficult to sympathize with. So a lot of people, like Karen Strassman, who is like an older person as well, she's a boomer, I don't really expect her to be all hip and up to date with the gender politics. And I think asking her to be fired is like a bit too much. Let's be honest. Especially since there's no evidence against it. That means people have been just parroting that she's transphobic without any specific examples. Has she been like harassing people? Is she donating to anti-trans movements? Because of all she said was, oh, I think trans people are kind of cringe. And that's it. It's just like, I don't think you should be fired over that. I think what happened is that people found her liking tweets from Trump and she was a bit anti-vax, so then she got lumped in with right-wingers, and then that just kind of eventually transphobic applied as a label, even though she hasn't done specifically anything that's transphobic. Like, if everyone who supported Trump lost their jobs, half the people in America would just be, like, homeless. And I guess that's also my problem, like, it's too easy to be good. No one is going to get you in trouble for saying Karen Strassman should be fired because you think she's transphobic. There's a lot of toxic activism going on made by people who don't know what they're talking about. Like, you don't know Karen Strassman, you haven't even asked her opinions about this stuff. People are way too eager to pull the trigger, and that's a bit concerning. But that's more of like a tangent on the fan base itself. Is Sonic the Hedgehog itself woke? That's the question I asked at the beginning of the video. And I would say no. Sonic the Hedgehog is fine just how it is. Now, even if I don't agree with Lunar in general, it's a very minor thing. Lunar is not asking you to even use neo pronouns. Lunar just wants to be referred by name, and it's not that crazy. It's not like Lunar is telling you to raise your children genderless and then let them choose their gender or something crazy like that. Lunar, at the end of the day, is just a non-binary character, and Lunar expresses it in a way that I find a little bit extra, but not problematic. It's not that big of a deal. But at the end of the day, you know, I'll always have this issue with Doctor Who, which I do think is definitely too woke, and I've witnessed a lot of toxic activism that makes the fan base not really fun to hang around. And I also want to make this clear, it's not like I don't have a problem with the right-wing side of the Sonic fanbase either. This is just specifically a video focusing on the left-wing side. And that's obviously because the writers doing Sonic are left-wing. So I can't really complain about right-wing stuff when no one right-wing is working on Sonic. But honestly, I've been kind of sitting on this video since like August, but I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of relevant because of the whole Mia VTuber Mia situation, whom I also do not support, by the way. So yes, it's a scary topic because everyone's out to get you. Like, I feel like I have opinions that would piss both people off, so I'm just kind of cooked. But, you know, I thought it'd be funny to use Mia's thumbnail as the thumbnail for this video, and yeah, that's why I decided to revisit it. It's not so hard to be a pig. You just start in by eating big, and snort your meal and squeal and roll in mud and slurp and burp. Eat rotten apples for dessert.